What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell for me so that you're notified every time I upload a video. Be careful down in the comment section. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers. So be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want up to 12 free stocks, Webull is going to give you up to 12 free stocks. When you open a new Webull brokerage account, put at least 1 penny in that account. They're going to give you up to 12 free stocks. So click on the link down in the description box if you're interested in that offer, and go get that free stock and go get that free money. Well, guys, we are in a housing market recession and we don't even know it. Interest rates for 30-year fixed rate loans have hit 6%. Guys, that's catastrophic for the housing market. And let me tell you why. See, most of the people that buy new homes are middle-class Americans. And middle-class Americans cannot afford to buy a new home anymore. Not with interest rates at 6%, guys. See, a year ago, when interest rates were 3%, it allowed more middle-class Americans the opportunity to experience the American dream. And that American dream is what? Home ownership. The white picket fence, right? The beautiful neighborhood. The neighborhood cookouts. Right now, guys, most middle-class Americans cannot afford that. Millennials can't afford it. Really, the only people who can afford to buy real estate right now is baby boomers. And that's who are propping up the housing market right now. See, baby boomers have wealth, right? Baby boomers have sold homes elsewhere and they have a lot of cash, right? They got a lot of retirement savings. They got pensions in some instances. They have Social Security coming in. So they are the demographic who is really propping up the housing market. But that won't last, right? See, in order for us to have a healthy housing market, your average American family, your middle class American family, like I said, which is the backbone of this country, will need to be able to afford a house. And right now they can't. So I looked at a few statistics, and new applications for loans to purchase new homes is down, right? Year over year, down. Refinance loan applications year over year, down by 83%. So what that's telling me is people can't even afford to refinance their home. Even if they got equity in it, they can't afford to refinance and take the equity out to do anything, whether it be home improvements, whether it be taking the equity to invest in other assets to build wealth. Can't afford to do it. So guys, the pain is only going to get worse. The Federal Reserve is going to be raising short-term interest rates again at the end of September. And then in the fourth quarter of 2022, they're going to raise interest rates at least 2 more times. Why are they raising interest rates? Because they're trying to fight inflation. Inflation is 8.3%, guys. And it should be around 2 to 2.5%. So it's out of control. So it's even going to make the housing market even worse. when they continue to raise these interest rates, these short-term interest rates. See, short-term interest rates do have a correlation with long-term interest rates, right? Because as the Federal Reserve continues to increase interest rates, it's going to put pressure on our economy, right? It's going to put pressure on companies. Why? Because money is not going to be cheap to borrow. Money is not going to be easy to come by when these interest rates are high. That's the reason they increase the interest rates, to force people to stop spending, right? Also, the labor market is going to have a hit, guys, because again, in order for inflation to come down, the labor market has to cool off. Whether we like it or not, guys, we spend a lot of money in America. 70% of our economy is consumer spending. People like you and me taking our hard-earned money and just buying crap, right? Buying crap really that we don't need. But that's how our economy thrives, when people buy this stuff. But when you're buying too much of it, what does that do? When it's too much demand, then you're doing what? You increase prices on the supply. The little supply we have, when we have too much demand for that supply, it runs up prices. And that's what inflation is, right? When the cost of our goods and services increase rapidly due to demand and not enough supply. But what that's going to do for the labor market is, in order to get inflation down, people going to have to lose their jobs, because that's how typically people stop spending, when they don't have money to spend. So in order for inflation to come down, they're going to have to keep raising short-term interest rates, the Fed, and our labor market is going to have to cool off. People are going to have to lose their jobs. So that's going to be even worse for the housing market. Back to that middle-class American who wants that slice of that American pie, which is home ownership. Not going to be able to afford it, number one, because interest rates right now in that 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 6%. Cannot afford to pay that mortgage payment at 6%, guys. Most people can't. You can't go out and buy a $400,000 house with a 6% fixed interest rate for 30 years. Mortgage payment's going to be too much, right? And the average house in America is around $462,000, guys. People can't afford that. They can't afford the monthly mortgage payment. And they're definitely not going to be able to afford it when layoffs start happening. Because I'm telling you, if inflation doesn't come down and start coming down fast, that's what's going to happen, because the Federal Reserve is going to force our labor market to soften. That means people won't be working, guys. Some people are going to lose their jobs. So the housing market, in my opinion, is in trouble, but we don't even know it yet. And again, we don't know it because, see, we see prices still quite consistent. Prices are still high. And the reason prices are still high is because we have low inventory, right? We don't have a lot of new construction, guys. Why? Because developers and these, large home builders, they don't want to carry all the burden of, putting their hard-earned money into all of this inventory, and then they don't have middle-class Americans that can buy that inventory. See, these baby boomers and these rich folks are not the ones that carry this country on their back, guys. It's the middle-class American that carries this country on their back financially. And if those people can't afford to buy a home and experience that American dream of home ownership, then guess what? Home builders are not going to be creating no inventory. Because see, these rich folks and these baby boomers, they make up a very small percentage of people who buy new homes. The vast majority of people who buy new homes are just average middle-class Americans. That's the housing market. So as an investor, since the housing market recession is here, in my opinion, what should we be doing to prepare ourselves as an investor to pick up real estate for rental income, right? What do we need to be prepared? Because we're going to have some opportunities here, guys. I think over the next 6 to 12 months, there are going to be some opportunity as an investor in real estate to be able to go out and pick up some good deals. You got to have your credit together, guys. and you got to have verifiable income, and you're going to have some cash reserves. You're going to need those three things. This notion of I'm not going to have any of that stuff and I'm going to go out and buy me a rental property and no, you're not going to buy one. You're not, especially where things are so tight right now. The banking industry has clamped down, guys. Again, the banks don't want to take on the risk of making a loan to someone who's not qualified. And then all of a sudden, when that person can't afford to pay the mortgage payment, now the bank has to go take the property back. And guess what? 9 out of 10 times when banks take properties back, they don't make any money. They actually lose money on that property because they're going to have to resell it at auction as a foreclosure. And people already know that. So they're not going to give the bank what the market says the property is worth. They're going to give the bank what the liquidated value of that property is. So banks lose money, guys, when they have to take properties back. So you better have good income, and it needs to be verifiable through your tax returns. You better have decent credit with no major derogatories on that credit report. And you better have some cash reserves. You better have at least 10 to 20% to put down on that rental property, because again, banks don't want to lend money to people who don't have no money in the deal. They don't want to carry all the risk. No, they want you to share in that risk. So they ask you to put down 20% and then they'll lend you 80%. Well, guys, in my opinion, I'm not trying to give you guys or do this video to put fear in you. What I'm trying to get you to understand is what's really going on in our country and really who's being impacted by it. Really who's suffering in the housing market. It's not the wealthy. It's not the baby boomers. It's that average everyday American like you and me. We're the ones that are suffering. Why? Because at 6% fixed rate, 30-year mortgage rates, we can't afford to buy a house. We just can't afford the monthly payment. Like I said, the average price of a house in the United States is about $462,000, guys. Can't afford it, not at 6% interest rate. So the housing market recession is here and we don't even know it. Drop me some comments, guys, and let me know what you think. Again, I'm just a guy on YouTube giving you my opinion. You certainly have a different of opinion. You can have a different of opinion. Drop it down in the comment section, man. If you want those 12 free stocks from Webull, click on that link down in the description box. Open up that new Webull account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing, share the video, smash the like button. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness, never stop believing in yourself, and I'm gonna catch you on the next video. Peace. Today's video is sponsored by my company, RF Financial Consulting. And in my company, I work with individuals just like you through financial mentoring and coaching sessions. And in those 1-hour sessions, we talk about strategies to help you get to your financial freedom, whether it be through real estate investing, stock market investing, creating additional streams of income, credit card arbitrage, or starting and growing a business. If that's something that you might be interested in, there's an email address in the description box of the video. Send me an email and let's discuss if I'm the right fit for you.